The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just needs to get in the frickin' robot. Welcome, Jacob.
But I'm too depressed. I can't think of anything else. It's so terrible. Oh my gosh, my life is terrible. Be like, why did I live? I don't know why. Man, dude, suck it up. Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who just decided and it's like, oh yeah, I can take on 12 angels, whatever they are, by themselves, by yourself, because you're gusto and everything. Welcome through. That was terrible.
I'm not a redhead, and I'm also not a female.
That's true.
So that doesn't really fit. I'm assuming you're referring to Asuka.
Yes! Yes, I agree.
Who finally got over her sadness and depression.
Gosh. Yes.
That I was like, this is Asuka that everyone talks about?
Yeah.
As being the coolest thing since sliced peaches? I don't see it now.
Okay.
And then, now we're kicking butt. Awesome.
Who wins? Godzilla or an angel?
Godzilla. God beats angels all the time. You know what I mean. God night.
Godzilla.
Back up. Replay. Godzilla defeats angel. God damn. Fly me to the moon. Why can't I say this correctly? God defeats angels every day. Either way.
There we go.
How about we just go ahead and jump into this nonsense?
Yes.
Well, you may not think it's nonsense, but I do.
No, we have
move on.
opinions. We all have opinions.
And because technically this is the finale of a animated series segment, it just feels wrong not to start with this.
A mystic adventure. Card captors. A quest for all time.
She is the one named Sailor Moon.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon.
It's time to do.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon Darling champions. Yayo, yayo, yayo. Ho, ho. Set sail for One Piece.
Yo, Shinji, get in the robot.
Yes!
Your dad lets you get in the robot. The cockpit's too small for a grown-up. Kick some butt in your robot. Emotional damage.
That's Stephen He saying Emotional Damage and the Lost 4 Kids opening of Evangelion by Eagle 8 Burger.
Certified fresh and spoiler free.
Jacob, I introduce this thing every time. This is really your show.
Okay.
For this. Why don't you tell us about your spoiler-free review?
Of this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
No, of all of Evangelion. Yes, this movie.
Yeah, if you want that, go back and listen to our previous TAS.
Back in December.
Way back in December, all the way up to our previous episode. Well, I first watched this. Well, I didn't even watch it. I saw clips of it every once in a while when the big. One sec.
Bum bum.
When this box came out, which is I think it's the Platinum Collection of Neon Genesis Evangelion. That came out, and I found it at Walmart. And the exact same day, I found Death and Rebirth and the End of Evangelion as a 2-pack. And I was like, you know what? I'll buy that. I never heard. I knew that was a movie. I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting because I liked the series. I really enjoyed the series. And I watched this, and I'm like, what the crap is this? Yeah, talk about emotional damage the entire time. It's just Jimma freaking knees, man. I'm not talking about Digimon, just Mon, man. It's just like, jeez.
The Jamaican Mon.
Yeah, cheese and crackers, man. This movie is messed up in all kinds of forms. Like, it's got an interesting plot here and there, but oh my gosh, this thing is it's like what I
This is already not what I was expecting
No.
for this review, so but continue.
Well, when I first watched it, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. I can respect for what they did with the film. I can respect it. But at the same time, I'm like, jeez, this is heavy, man. This is really heavy. I'm waiting for a Back to the Future reference, but you're not going to do it.
I don't have the thing.
Oh, wow. Never
I have a
mind.
Back to the Future thing.
Never mind. I was
Something about the gravity of the situation. Everything's
Yeah.
heavier in the future.
Yes, thank you.
I thought you meant a sound clip, and I didn't.
No,
have a
no,
sound
no, no,
clip.
no, no, no. No, I would accuse you with that. No, yes, great Scott. No, but I appreciate the film for what it is. The visualization of it is really good. It's just, wow, this is heavy, like extremely heavy kind of movie that isn't really that heavy. And would I recommend this film? Probably not to most people. Be like, if you watched all of the Evangelion,
You might
Either-
as well.
if you watch this or you watch it on Netflix, yeah, go watch it. Go watch it on Netflix. Just be prepared for a lot of really messed up crap. That's going to make you think, what the fudge am I watching? So with that said, would I recommend it? Like I said before, if you've never watched Evangelion, don't watch it. You have, go watch it. Just prepared to get your mind blown in so many other ways. That is all I'm going to
Oh
say.
wow!
That's all I'm going to say with that. How about you, Drew? What is your spoiler-free thoughts?
So, this is my first viewing of this particular film,
I think I watched it 3 times.
with the exception of
Oh.
apparently having watched it so many parts of it so many times over the course of the last couple of years due to a YouTube
Yes.
AMV series that I'm going to remain nameless because I don't know. I guess I can say AMV hell.
Yeah.
That's not really a curse word.
No, it's not.
Which is basically them people taking scenes from different animes and putting audio with it to make humorous clips. Either way. And a lot of them were Evangelion because, of course, putting comedic stuff with dark stuff is always funnier.
Yes.
But this is the first time I had watching the whole thing, and I did not just watch the end of Evangelion, even though that was all that was required of me. I also went back and watched Death True Squared, I believe it's called,
Yes.
which is literally just a recap of the 24 episodes prior to, well, up until the last 2. It's all the episodes up to the last 2. Up until Papa Top again. Yeah, the death of Kaoru. Yeah. I here's the thing. If you are going to watch the end of Evangelion, even if you've watched the other 24 episodes, do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch the hour that is Death True, because it condenses everything into a nice, easy package that is helpful in trying to figure out what is going on in this film. I'm not going to say it's a requirement. I am suggesting that you do so, and it's not that the previous 24 Evangelion episodes don't do a good job of explaining it. It's just it's so condensed in the 1 hour special there that you are pretty much prepared exactly for what they're getting at instead of trying to figure out what's going on for half the time, even though once you get to the second half, you're still going to be asking what is going on. But it's an interesting film. I do suggest if you have seen Evangelion to watch the end of Evangelion.
Yes.
I kind of feel like it should be required. It should. I'm not saying it should be replacing episodes 25 and 26. As goofy, as pretentious and artsy as 25 and 26 actually are, but it is a great. I'm not gonna say it's great. It is well animated. It is the finale basically of the story, at least the original story, at least what Hideaki Anno felt about it after everyone poo-pooed the original ending, which we'll get to that, considering one of the bits of trivia made me go, you really are. This really is actually telling people where they can stick it.
Yeah.
The people who hated the original ending, which, like I said, I understood. And I honestly, while this looks good, I think I do prefer the original ending the more we've talked about it.
Fair.
Even though it still makes, almost in a way, I just kind of wish it stopped at the death of Kaoru.
Oh, agreed.
We don't need those other 2 episodes, and we really don't need this film, but I don't know, it's just a nice way of finally putting some form of closure, and this is very beautifully animated.
Oh, it is. Agreed.
Don't get me wrong there, but man, does Hideaki Anno go on to the pretentious side of things.
Just a little.
So, on that note, shall we dive deep into the orange juice?
You're not kidding. Let's go.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film The End of Evangelion.
Bum, bum, bum.
Listener discretion is advised. The End of Evangelion was written and directed by Hideaki Anno,
Surprise, surprise to nobody.
who also directed, and I believe did a lot of the writing for Shin Godzilla and Shin Kamen Rider,
Yes.
but not Shin Ultraman. He only produced that one,
Yes.
which is odd because apparently he really likes Ultraman.
But also, he did direct the Shin Evangelion movie.
The entire rebuild
Yes.
of Evangelion films, which includes Shin Evangelion.
Yes, which is the 4th film.
Yes.
Yes.
It was also directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki. Getting into the cast, unlike normal episodes, unlike all our other episodes, I am not mentioning where you can find these people and others because honestly, there's a lot here and we could be here a while if I did so. So, yeah. Shinji Ikari in the original ADV English dub was voiced by Spike Spencer. And in the Netflix dub was voiced by Casey Mongillo. Masato Katsuragi was voiced by Allison Keith in the ADV dub and Carrie Karanen in the Netflix. Rei Ayanami and Yu Ikari was voiced by Amanda Wynn Lee and in the ADV and Ryan Bartley in the Netflix. Asuka Langley Soryu was voiced by Tiffany Grant in the ADV and Stephanie McKeon in the Netflix. Kaoru Nagisa was voiced by Aaron Crone in the ADV and Clifford Chapin in the Netflix. And lastly, Gendo Ikari.
Pop.
Well, he didn't pop yet.
Oh, he
just
does
kind
in this
of.
one. He does pop in this film.
Well, everyone pops in this film.
That is true.
He was voiced by Tristan McAvery, in the ADV dub and Ray Chase in the Netflix dub. Kingdom Hearts connections.
Ooh.
How many do we have?
4.
Bear in mind, this includes Japanese cast and 2 English. So technically, in a way, 3 English casts.
Oh, okay. ADV and Netflix?
ADV original, ADV director's cut,
That's right.
and Netflix.
Okay.
Along with the original Japanese.
I would go with probably 6.
You got it first try.
Whoa! Wow, okay. Points to me. Let's
For
go.
the English dubs, which all of these are the Netflix dub. Ray Chase, who played Gendo Ikari in this, plays the Master of Masters in Kingdom Hearts, who may or may not be the actual final villain if we ever get Kingdom Hearts 4. But he did show up for like 5 seconds in a couple of these things. J.P. Karliak is the voice of Kaozu Fuyutsuki in the Netflix.
Okay.
And was additional voices in Kingdom Hearts, and was just recently in another thing we reviewed over on our Patreon.
Oh, okay.
A certain exciting television series. Greg Chun was voiced Ryoji Kaji in the Netflix.
Yeah.
And was additional voices in Kingdom Hearts. In the Japanese version, Akira Ishida is the voice of Kaoru. And was both Zexion and Ienzo in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
The members of the villainous Organization 13.
That's right.
And we stay with this a lot. Fumiko Tachiki, who voiced Gendo Akari in the Japanese version, is Alias and Lexius in Kingdom Hearts. And Yuko Miyamura, the voice of Asuka Langley Soryu in this, was the voice of Larxene in Kingdom Hearts. All three of these people played Organization 13 members. And literally, as I was making this list up, and I did the first one, and then the second one, I thought, okay, if this third one is Larxene, because I kind of knew it was a girl, so it's like there's only one female member of the organization. If this is Larxene, I'm going to have to go take a break. And then I had to take a break. But yeah, that is what we've got in the cast list. Info and stuff.
All right. Info and stuff. IMDb, it is a 6 point. 6 point. That's not even right. 8.1 out of 10. Could not find anything on Rotten Tomatoes. Available to watch on Netflix, or at least the Netflix dub.
The Netflix dub and the Japanese version, minus in the television series, Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah, go fly me to the freaking moon.
Fly me to the stinking moon.
Right. Yeah,
There's no Fly Me to the Moon in this, by the way.
But again, not sponsored. But you can go to G Kids and go pick up the newer box set of this.
Yes.
Blu-ray.
Actually, you can go down to Walmart and pick it up.
That is true.
Not our Walmart, but some Walmarts have it.
Walmarts. Because the Walmart here stinks. But
We have virtually no video left.
yeah. Anyway, that's a sad day. Anyway, production was by Ava Comtinem. I'm going to say that wrong. Committee. Thank you. Committee. I saw the word.
Evangelion Production Committee?
Yes. Because I saw the word. I was like, I can't spell this for some reason. I know the word.
In my defense, the reason I was able to guess it without looking at your notes is because everything in Japan's made with a production committee.
Yeah, it's committee. Yeah.
It's owned by 13 different companies, one of which is Sega.
Yeah. Sega!
Sonic the Hedgehog helped produce this thing, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, can we get a hot dog to go with this movie?
You mean a chili dog?
Yeah, chili dog. Extra cheese. Maybe a little onion.
Either way.
All right. So I am probably going to butcher some of these names, so I do apologize.
Hideaki Anno.
Yes, he directed it.
I'd be facetious. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You think? Kaido Kawen.
Kadokawa?
You spell it. You say it then. You say it.
I'm sorry. I've seen this like in 100 different places. Okay, so you just want me to go through all of the...
No, just go, the one.
Kadokawa Shoten.
Thank you.
Project Ava. Gynax. Production IG.
TV Tokyo. Sega! Toei Company. Distributed by Toei Company.
That's about all they did for this one.
That is true. Release date in Japan was July 19th, 1997. And most recently here in the United States in 2024 in theaters.
Last week.
So if you want to
Not
get
around here, but it was last week.
Yep. If you want to get emotionally damaged, yeah, go watch it in theaters.
Well, except it's probably gone now because I think it was a one night only thing.
Yeah, it was like
But-
a two nights.
2 nights.
2 nights.
2 nights, 200 miles away.
Yes. All right. So runtime is 87 minutes. Box office. And in the United Kingdom? No, in
United
Japan.
Japan.
In Japan.
In Nippon.
Yeah. It was a 2.1 47 billion yen, or you can translate that to 19 million. I did just recently look up the recent box office releases. Let's see. We're going by these numbers. Domestically, it $1.3 million. Internationally, 261,223, with a worldwide gross of $1.4 million dollars. So that is the current what this movie has made over the span of 2 decades. Going back to my notes. All right, home release. Now I am only going to refer to the North American Canadian. There's part of me I really want to make some Canadian jokes, but I'm not going to because I don't know if we have any listeners that listen in Canada. If you do, thank you. We appreciate it. The North American releases of this film. North American company AD Visions, respectively, for the original series adaptation, was extremely interested in acquiring the End of Evangelion's distribution rights before Gainax demanded too high of a fee for its licensing. In July 1998, AD Vision announced it would negotiate with Gainax to release the film overseas. In 1999.
In your defense, there was a lot of stuff going on in 2000.
Yes, there were. The rights were purchased for the U.S. for $2 million by the company of Manga Entertainment. Is that the company still exist anymore?
It's been bought out, I think, by somebody.
The company announced the release of the Western edition of The End of Evangelion on October of the same year, but the release was postponed. Manga Entertainment initially stated that they would interview Anno and... Wow.
Okay, Manga Entertainment was bought out by... it was absorbed into Stars Incorporated, which became Lionsgate Home Entertainment, the U.S. branch, while outside of the U.S., it was acquired by Funimation, which is now Crunchyroll.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's that.
Okay.
What am I looking up here?
You are looking at... How do you spell that word?
Surumaki.
Tsurumaki.
Surumaki.
Okay.
Close enough.
Yes. There again,
We apologize.
We apologize. Sometimes I have a hard time enough with English.
We have a hard enough time with American names, much
Yes.
less anybody else's.
That is true. That is true. I was told that in high school once. Let's just go on. To provide the Western fans with an experience of the feature film, but no interviews were included in the final DVD release, and the release date was again postponed until September 2022. The End of Evangelion was included in the Standard Edition, Collector's Edition, and the Ultimate Edition Blu-ray releases of the series in late 2021. Also included extra content such as deleted live-action scenes and a short documentary about the making of the film. In the United Kingdom, Anime Limited screened Death, Truth 2, and The End of Evangelion in theaters on November 11th and the 14th of 2021. Despite Anime Limited permitting the Manga Entertainment English language dub, the DCP file distribution to theaters for the November 11th screening was compelled using more of the more recent Netflix sub. The error was fixed in time for the November 14th screening. On February 24th, 2024, G Kids announced a nationwide theatrical North American run for March 14th through the 20th in its original Japanese and English subtitles. So that is all I have for info and stuff.
Getting into the summary. Episode 25, Air, aka Love is Destructive. Teenager Shinji Ikari is the pilot of Evangelion Unit 1, one of several giant cyborgs designed to fight hostile supernatural entities called angels. Shinji is distraught over having had to kill his friend, Kaoru Nagisa, who revealed himself as an angel in human form.
Pop.
He visits his fellow pilot, Asuka Langley Soryu, in the hospital where she lies comatose. Trying to shake her awake, he accidentally exposes herself and does stuff over her comatose body. That's all I'm going to leave that as. And afterwards,
Sick puppy.
afterward, remarking his disgust in himself. Nerve, the paramilitary organization that controls the Evangelions, is controlled by a secretive committee called Sele, Seal, whatever we're calling it this week, which has been planning to initiate an event called the Third Impact, which will wipe out all life on Earth and achieve human instrumentality. Sele discovers that Shinji's father, Gendo Ikari, the commander of Nerve, intends to create his own version of the Third Impact to reunite with his deceased wife, Yui, whose soul resides in Unit 1. Apparently. Sele dispatches the Japanese military to seize control of Nerve and exterminate its staff. Nerve Major Misato Katsuragi orders Asuka to be moved to Evangelion Unit 2 and placed at the bottom of a lake. Misato wants Shinji, who is wallowing in self-hatred following the hospital events, because of course he is, to defend Nerve and rescue him from invading troops, but is fatally shot in the process. Before her death, Misato implores Shinji to pilot Unit 1 and kisses him. Shinji discovers Unit 1 has been immobilized in Bakelite. Gendo meets with pilot Rei Ayanami, who carries the soul of the angel Lilith. Apparently. Gendo possesses the body of the angel Adam, except it's not Adam, and he is intent on combining it with Lilith to begin the Third Impact. Inside Unit 2, Asuka overcomes her trauma upon learning that the soul of her deceased mother is inside Unit 2. Apparently.
Well, she figured that out.
We figured that out, I think, a while back.
Yeah, good that she figured it out.
Yeah. She then reactivates the unit and destroys the military forces. But Sele's new mass-produced Evangelion units arrive. Asuka defeats them, but they reanimate and disembowel her in Unit 2. Unit 1 breaks free of the Bakelite and ascends above Nerve headquarters, piloting it. Shinji sees Sele units carrying the mutilated remains of Unit 2 and screams. Episode 26. Sincerely Yours, a.k.a. I Need You, a.k.a. this is the one that's actually called The End of Evangelion.
Yes.
Because it's the final. Rei betrays Gendo and takes Adam for herself. I thought that was Lilith.
That was...
Why does this keep calling it Adam?
I have no idea.
Either way, she merges with Lilith. Okay, you people don't know what you're talking about, where I got this summary from. Who changes into a gigantic white version of Rei. The mass-produced units pull Unit 1 into the sky and crucify it, literally, beginning the ritual to trigger the Third Impact. Lilith makes contact with Shinji. After several dreamlike contemplations, including fighting with and strangling Asuka, who refuses his pleas for help and understanding, Shinji concludes he is alone and everyone in the world, including himself, should die. Lilith responds by initiating the Third Impact and dissolving human bodies into the primordial fluid LCL, reforming their souls into a single consciousness. And all I have to say about that is, that's a lot of orange juice.
Just a little.
Yeah. After more contemplation, Shinji rejects this new state, realizing life is about experiencing pain as well as joy. Shinji's rejection causes the destruction of Lilith, and the souls of humanity are set free. Yui's soul tells Shinji anyone can return to their physical body if they have the will to, and they bid farewell, Yui leaving Earth in Unit 1's body to serve as an eternal monument to humanity. Sometime later, the rematerialized Shinji and Asuka lie on a post-apocalyptic shoreline. Shinji catches a glimpse of the ethereal Rei before being startled by Asuka. Shinji begins to strangle her, but then she caresses his face. He stops. Shinji breaks down in tears, and Asuka voices disgust. Wow.
Jinx, you owe me a Mountain Dew for that.
Maybe. Getting into the trivia. A screenshot of an email death threat to Hideaki Anno from angry fans and a picture of the vandalized Gainax office building are among the random images played towards the end of the film.
Yes.
Because people are stupid and jerks. And
Yeah.
it's just a TV show, guys.
Yeah.
I know as a member of many fandoms, it feels more than that, and it is important, but it's still just a TV show. You don't have to destroy people and send death threats.
Yes, people are crazy. Let's just say that.
According to Misato, the computer screen she is viewing near the beginning of the film is a file which reveals the truth of the second impact. In reality, from what is legible, it is nothing but a short bio on Gainax and its films.
Really?
Yeah. The film was based on the scripts Gainax originally intended to use for episodes 25 of the TV series, but were unable to due to budget and production problems, and TV Tokyo's refusal to allow the episode to be produced for television broadcast. Why, I wonder? The second half of the film
Too
builds
much orange
upon
juice.
the second half of the film builds upon the script to create an ending concurrent to the one shown in the TV series. An alternate sequence was originally planned for the live-action portions of the film. In it, Shinji dreams of a world that exists without him. The sequence follows live-action versions of Asuka, Misato, and Rei in various stages of their daily lives without Nerve, angels, or Evangelions. It ends with Asuka being followed by an invisible Shinji who realizes in monologue that this is not reality. As the transition from live action back to animation is made, Rei and Shinji discuss the nature of dreams versus reality as seen in the final cut of the film. Portions of the alternate sequence can be seen in the original theatrical trailer, which is shown on the Region 1 DVD before the movie plays. Jacob, what are your thoughts? What is your first like for this film?
My first is like,
No, not dislike, like.
well, that's what I meant to say. It wasn't a Freudian slip when I said that.
I hope not, considering this film.
One, I'm gonna do a little rearranging because I was like, because when I was doing the notes, I was like, oh, that's a good point here and there. But why don't we just go with the animation first?
Yeah.
The animation in this is brilliant. It's done very well. It's obviously it's theatrical. It's very,
It's amazing what an actual budget could do for a production.
yeah, a Hideano budget movie. Well, we get there when we ever get to rebuild.
One day you'll force me into it.
You're not kidding. The animation in this movie is brilliant. It's done very well. Very I want to say professional because everything is, for the most part, looks professional. We've reviewed movies that look like they were done by a 9th grader in school.
We don't talk about Leo. No,
whoa.
I was like, okay, which one is he talking about? Leo?
Yeah,
Food fight?
yeah. Leo. Anybody? We need to make a shirt about that. We don't talk about Leo.
Yeah.
Anyways, the animation is done very well, very beautifully done. The fights are done very well. The sequences are done. Characters are done very well, and it's just a beautiful film. Very, very beautiful execution wise, done very well. And yeah, I love the animation. It's done it's a departure from the series, but it's done in such a way that it does reflect what the show was, which is a much bigger budget. Because you do have some slight character redesigns here and there, but overall it holds true to the show. So yes, animation is brilliant. What is your first like of this movie?
Well, so far we're in accord. because the animation in this film is very good. Like I said a minute ago, it's amazing what you can do with a budget.
Yes.
Because even the talking scenes look 10 times better than even the action scenes of the television show, just because they have money to actually animate everything.
You're not kidding.
Granted, they do some of the
They
for
do.
aesthetic purposes primarily. They do some of the other things, but they're able to do so much more even with that
Agree.
with the budget. There's not a moment where I'm watching it and going, this is just absolutely beautiful what I'm seeing. Even the stuff that's also disturbing and disgusting.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there when we get there.
But yeah, it's a beautifully animated film. And it almost makes me want to watch other animated Hideaki Anno stuff when he has a budget. Not saying that the show was bad by any means.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
No.
But it was definitely designed in a way to maximize money for the fight scenes, which left the rest of it kind of hanging sometimes. So, yeah, I'm definitely going with the animation on this as my first like. What's your second like?
It's beautifully disturbing.
Ain't that the truth?
You're not kidding. Oh my, it's like, wow. It's like, jeez. It's like, this movie is just, it's so bizarre that it's beautiful in so many different ways. I think of when the third impact happens and all the characters are going puff into orange juice. Be like, that's, whoa, okay, that is incredibly disturbing, but incredibly beautiful at the exact same time. Or we have Oscar's fight with the Ava series. But like that, oh my gosh, the way that these Avas literally turn into vultures and just tear that Ava apart, it's so gut wrenching. It's so gut wrenching.
I have seen that somewhere. Obviously, it was inspired by this.
Yes,
I just can't remember what I saw it in. It might have been Bleach. The more I think about it, but I'm not sure.
possibly.
Anyway, continue.
But oh my gosh, be like the amount, be like, there's so much detail in this movie. Definitely when you get to the more gory and graphic scenes, it's oh wow, okay, I'm feeling really uncomfortable. At the same time, you're like, wow, that's done very well. Like again, the Unit 2 getting picked apart by vulture Avas. Jeez, that was
that hurt it just by look.
yeah, you're not kidding. But it's like, oh my gosh, again, beautifully disturbing. That's why I'm going to describe it. So that's my number 2, beautifully disturbing.
My second like for this film is it does not hold your hand.
No, it doesn't.
This is an issue with some other things, which I'll get to later, but this movie does not try to say, okay, this is a sequel to the series. We're going to try to explain, as we're getting into this, we're going to try to explain stuff we explained in the series, but for the people who were stupid enough just to show up to the movie and not watch the series, here's what's going on. No, it just assumes like if you did not watch the series, you don't deserve to know what's going on in this film. And even then you're watching it and going, I still don't know what's going on in this film. I just watched this television series for 8 weeks, 16 weeks, however long it's been. 12 weeks actually, I think.
Yes, 12 weeks.
It's been a couple months. Let's just say that. I love how it treats the audience. I guess what I'm trying to get at is as like, you're smart enough. If you've gotten this far, you're smart enough to follow, and we're not going to help you out with any of this, even when we go off the wall.
Bouncing off the walls.
Now, that has some other issues I'll get to later because, unfortunately, and this is the only hint you're going to get at what I'm getting at is this is a part of that same story, and I don't think the same story explains what's going on before we get here. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yes.
What's your third like?
My third like would be Asuka versus the other Avas. That
is
like
a great fight.
That was such a great build up to his like Asuka's in her mental stupor. she be like, and her Ava kind of wakes her up, aka her mother wakes her up and makes her aware, be like that she has purpose and the whole bit.
For the first time in what, 6-7 episodes?
Yeah, you're
It's
not
like,
kidding.
holy crap, she can be happy again. I forgot how she looks when she's happy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like you get this rejuvenation of who Asuka is. Her fire is rekindled of like who she is and how she can do, and be like she taps into the full potential of her Ava through her mother's spirit. And it's just like, and then you get these vulture like things that are supposed to be Avas with the
S2 drives.
S2 drives. It's like,
Which I just still don't know what that means.
it's vaguely explained in the series, but it's again very vague. Everything in this show is vague.
Might be part of the issues I have.
Yeah, just a bit. But I enjoy the where Asuka, her power connection is severed, and it's like, okay, I've got 5 minutes to tear into these guys, and sure enough, she does, and it's gloriously bloody and just beautifully animated.
I wish I had timed it.
Yeah,
Because I am curious if they actually did that whole thing in 5 minutes, because it feels like 10 minutes.
It does.
How much goes into it, and it doesn't drag.
No.
It just kind of feels like you're just sucked right in, and it has you for that entire fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we didn't even get anything this good in the show.
yeah, you're not kidding.
And we're giving it to Asuka because she's the one whose unit is working at the moment.
Yes.
And is not wallowing in self-pity.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, Shinji's fight with Shinji doesn't do anything in this film. Let's say that.
For the first, really, the whole thing, yeah.
The whole thing, he really does nothing. But Asuka, who has like this big shining moment in this movie, and then gets eviscerated, is the best word.
Yes.
My gosh. But that, in like all of that, in culmination, the entire thing is just like, jeez. Oh my gosh. Like I said before, beautifully disturbing. That scene in itself is beautifully disturbing. It's like, be like, the fact be like, it's like, oh my gosh. Be like, kids, stop, please stop. It's like, nope, it's not stopping. It's not going to stop. Oh my gosh. I'm going to lose it. And it's like, oh geez, but so freaking good. Yeah, so my third is the entirety of Asuka's awakening and her Ava and her fight against the mass-produced angels, or I'm calling vulture angels. What's your third?
My third like for this is going to sound weird, Misato.
Misato, okay.
Yeah, I say it sounds weird because to me, granted, I know technically she's probably the only one you could say died in this.
Yeah.
Maybe Gendo did, but if he did, he did so off screen. And what's her name? Blonde haired lady.
Yeah. Oh,
She died.
yeah, she died.
The main scientist.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's
Katsuragi.
Katsuragi, yes, thank you. But Misato is the one given the good death.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
The one that hurts. The
Yes,
one that
it does.
The one that's earned in many ways. I'm not saying the other two weren't earned, but they were earned in a negative way.
Yeah.
Because you don't like Gendo or Katsuragi by the end of the show.
No.
But Misato has been the only positive thing in Shinji's life
Yeah.
for the series, maybe even for his entire life.
Yeah.
And her death, even though it still doesn't motivate Shinji to get off his butt, hurts in such a good way
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, because it was coming, and I was like, oh, you're killing Misato? Why are you killing Misato? Wait, she shows back up later, isn't she? Because I've seen those clips of the orange juice. She's in that. Okay, that's an entirely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But you're killing Misato, and oh wow, it's like Shinji is losing his second mother in many ways, because you can say a lot of things about Misato, but she's the only one who gave a crap about Shinji. Not about him as a pilot, him as a person.
Yes.
And to see her sacrifice herself for Shinji, despite the fact Shinji's being an absolute idiot during this time. I know he's depression. It's hard, and this is not going to help his depression anyway.
No.
But I'm still sitting there going, literally, after she's dead, he rides the elevator down and he's staring at Bakelite covered Unit 1. I'm going, get a jackhammer, dig your way in there, and get in the stupid robot, Shinji.
Yeah.
What is taking you so long? Why are you sitting on the catwalk? Misato got herself killed to save your butt because she thought you could save the world, you stupid ignorant.
It's supposed to be a like, not just like.
Don't run away, Shinji. But that's how good her death is.
Oh, I
because
agree.
It angers me how Shinji reacts to it because that is the closest thhas had to a mother since his mother died, and he barely remembers Yui because of how old he was when she passed.
Yes.
It's the closest thing he's known to a mother and known to someone loving and caring for him.
Yes.
And her death does not motivate him to get off his tail. Because I killed Kaoru.
Good.
Masato cared for you more than Kaoru did.
And remember, he's a freaking angel. You know,
He wanted
you the
to
whole.
cause the third impact.
Yeah. Woosa.
I am not playing the soundbite yet.
Yet. Masato
is my favorite character in this, and I have decided, besides Pen Pen, who did nothing wrong,
Yes.
Masato might be my favorite character in the series because she's the only person who actually is trying to help Shinji.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, what I think about Shinji is going to have to come up later.
Yeah. I can see where this is going.
Yes.
All right, so we are done with our likes.
We're done with our likes. Dislikes?
Yes.
Jacob?
Dislikes. My first dislike, this movie is utterly disgusting. Disturbing.
Yes.
Disturbing
Considering
beyond
the
belief.
event it starts off with.
Well,
Which I didn't even put two and two together at the time.
I was trying to warn you.
You did warn me, and I just thought, oh, it's going to be because of all the naked Rei Ayanami later on.
No,
it's not. I'm
Whoa.
5 minutes into this, and I'm going, Shinji, what the crap are you doing? Shouldn't you be depressed about Kaoru right now instead of
What you did.
what you're doing?
What you're doing? It's like, jeez.
I don't even understand why he was doing that. It doesn't even fit what his character was going through at the moment.
Well, there's
I jumped on yours.
well, I understand. I understand you're going to go into, you know, what I think
Sorry,
you're
I
going to
got
go into. You think? No, but yeah, you get this first go around. I was like, what the crap is going on? And it's like, Shinji, dude, you little prick. What are you doing? Be like, I understand you're a 13-year-old boy. It's like, okay, no, don't do. It's like, give slap you back in the head. But like, it's just like, what the crap is going on? It's like, okay, all the angels are gone. Okay. And then, Seal, whatever
Whatever they're called.
Be like, we need Adam, aka Lilith, whatever that thing is down in the basement.
I could have sworn it was Lilith. Kaoru said it was Lilith. Why is this summary calling him Adam?
But
Wikipedia, you have failed me for the last time.
But like, this movie just goes from disturbing to even more disturbing. It just ramps up the disturbance and the oh my gosh, this is not the force. This is like, what the crap? It's oh my gosh. It's like I said, it's disturbingly beautiful. At the same time, it's like, okay, this is a bit much. Again, one of my likes was Asuka's fight with the mass-produced angels. that was hard to watch. That was extremely hard to watch. There's a lot of this movie that is extremely hard to watch, and like all these characters are scummy for the most part. Again, Masato be like, yeah, she has be like all of her characters have flaws, but Jim and Knees be like, what Sele or Seal Art be like what they're doing. He's like, Jim freaking Knees, what are you doing? And then you got Shinji's dad. It's like Jim and Gendo Akari. What kind of
Spoiler of the Ikari name had his son not existed.
Yeah, true. It's not even his real last name. He took his wife. He took his
wife's name.
His wife's name because it gave him clout. It's like, you little prick. Be like, you're doing this all because you want to have your wife, whom you put in a freaking Ava.
I'm still confused how she disappeared into the Ava.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did it because he's a Bichon Frise.
Somehow.
Yes. And they're like, and so he's doing all of this where he can see Yui again. He wants to destroy all humanity because he wants to see his wife again. And good on Ray for saying no. But oh my, that's oh jeez, that scene, jeez. It's like, what the frack? This movie is so freaking disturbing in so many ways. Oh my gosh. The director's name, what's his name again?
Hideaki Anno.
Hideaki Anno. What are you? I mean, like, I get depression. I get it. I've got mild depression myself. But good night, dude. What is your freaking problem? Be like, go street. Be like, 1, get to know Jesus. 2, go get a freaking shrink. Jeez.
As I texted you a couple weeks ago, Hideaki Anno needs Jesus in therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a gift slap in the back of the head. Or 2 or 3. I don't know. But jeez, this movie is so disturbing. There are so many moments. It's like, okay. I'd be like, the first time I watched it, I was freaked out. I was like, whoa, okay, this is different. And now watching it as a reviewer, it's like, oh my gosh. Again, beautifully disturbing, but oh my gosh, disturbing. Yes, this movie is really, really, really disturbing. So if you are very, if it really bothers you and like quote unquote triggers, be like, it's like, oh my gosh, you do not want to watch this film because this movie will, yeah, that's my first. It is disturbing. What's your second? First.
Dislike.
First.
My first dislike, and this is kind of coming off of yours, and kind of not.
Okay.
This is Neon Genesis Evangelion. The whole bit,
Yes,
is a deconstruction of the mecha genre of anime. Which started, which was and really it's the tropes that were popularized by Mobile Suit Gundam. There's some more thrown in there for good measure, and of course Hideaki Anno had to go like full bore artistic symbolism on everything. And it's not for that. I don't think it's bad.
okay.
My problem is it has as a, and this is a taste thing. I'll tell you that right now. This is purely a taste thing. I will get if other people disagree with me on this, and I will not fight you over it.
Fair.
This movie is because it is the end of this full deconstruction and showing the problems with all these tropes and actually and showing what happens if you actually fully extrapolate the ideas of the child, the one person who can actually pilot the giant robot is a child, and what that's going to do to his psyche, that so many other things, the idea of the child soldier sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And that's even before you come to the realization that Shinji's mom is in the Ava and all the other stuff. it makes it, for me anyway, too dark.
Okay.
And like I said, this is a full taste thing. It's not that I think it's badly done, badly written, or anything like that. I've got some other issues with the writing I'll get to in a minute. But on the whole, I just don't like the film in general. I can appreciate what it's doing, but I can't like the film.
Okay.
And I can't like the series because it's just absent of what I look for in entertainment.
Okay.
And the thing I look for in any story is hope.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what this film and this television series have precious little of?
Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah.
The closest we get is a hollow hope near the end. It really feels like after all this is done, that maybe the world is going to rebuild, except we never get to see any of that. All we see is Shinji try to strangle Asuka again for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And she says disgusting. And I actually rewound. It's like, I missed something. I had to have missed something. There's got to be a scene after this. Why is it going back to the, what do you want to watch next screen here on Netflix? Why isn't it giving me the actual thing? And it's because it has, what little hope it has is destroyed by her saying disgusting. Because at first, when I was watching this, trying to dissect it without looking up what stuff is.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, the world just came to an end. Asuka and Shinji are basically the Adam and Eve of this rebirthed world.
Yeah.
And she hates his guts. Granted, she hated his guts before, but she had this full revival earlier in the film. I thought maybe she's going to be in a better mood. Maybe she's going to see all this. Maybe there is going to be some hope for these two characters. No, there is no hope. They are both still lost in this world, and they both hate each other. If Rey was around, they'd hate her too.
Yeah.
And honestly, because the film ends before we see anybody else show back up, it really feels like every relationship that we had prior to this movie, that, with the exception of Masato, Gendo, and Katsuragi, who, it's understandable, they died outside of the third impact. They don't come back. That's just how I can get how that works. But everyone who turned into orange juice is, from what I can tell, coming back. And we don't get to see that. We don't get to see their life going forward. We don't get to see the smile in the end of the television series at the end of this movie. Like, honestly, should have happened after as life was being rebuilt and everything was coming back to normal, and Shinji, having forgiven himself for all the crap he put himself through, that smile should have been there. It ends in the wrong spot, in my opinion. There should be another 15, 20, 30 minutes of story just to wrap up the last of the plot lines, to give us that good ending. I get that that's not dark and deconstructive enough, but I'm not saying I need a happy ending.
But you want one.
This one I felt needed one. Normally I'm fine with a dark ending when it makes sense.
Yeah.
But this one felt like we were building to a point where Shinji forgives himself for all his mealy mouth nonsense, is what this thing should have been going for. And he's still the same despicable human being he is at the beginning of this film. There is no character growth for Shinji.
No, there isn't.
And I'll get more into that in a minute because I'm kind of slowly merging that direction. But that's the best example I can give for how, as the final chapter of this deconstruction of the child soldier and a mech anime thing, it ends with no hope. And I felt like I got to the end of this and it's like, then what was the point?
Fair.
I have been watching this since episode 1, and I feel like, well, I've enjoyed it for the show. Don't get me wrong. And I've enjoyed our reviews. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
As someone who has been trying to watch this anime for the past 20 years and having a hard time getting through it because of, just different things and timing and all that other kind of stuff, I feel like a lot of that time I wasted because of the ending of this film.
Yeah. I can see that.
That's my first dislike, and you can tell where this is going.
I got you.
What is your second dislike?
Mine kind of bounces off your first. My second is To use an old vernacular, an older word, be like Shinji is a stump. He does nothing through this entire film. Nothing. He like be like, yeah, he's active in the very big, like he's active
at the halfway point.
Yeah. Well, be like he's like you get the scene where he's trying to wake up Asuka because he wants someone to be there for him. These be like his obsessiveness to be like someone to give him praise and give him this, and because he doesn't have a value in himself, he's got to find value in others, and it's just like and like this, and then like his total like complete inactivity the entire movie. It's like, this is our protagonist of our movie.
This is the hero of the film.
Yes, he's the hero of the film, and he literally does nothing. Be like, the next time we see him, he's underneath some stairwells, like moping around, doing nothing. Be like,
I killed the only person that loved me.
He didn't love you, you freaking idiot. Oh my gosh. It's like, dude, it'd be like,
not in a brotherly love way, not in a sexual way.
Right.
This was none of that. He had he didn't love you, Shinji. He loved the idea of humanity, and that's why he decided he wanted y'all to live and wanted you to kill him, because I think he hated you specifically. Because you were the pilot of Ava Unit 1.
yes.
Sorry. Continue.
You're good.
Sorry.
You're good. I can hear.
I'm gonna have to get this out of my system on my second dislike. I can tell.
Yeah, I can hear the bumper being revved up as I speak. But it's like Shinji's inactivity. He literally does nothing, because you have this character from the end of the series. I mean, like, yeah, at the end he killed Kaoru because he had to. He had to, even though he's blaming himself the entire time. Like, dude,
did his job.
He did his job. You were supposed to do that. And be like, to the point where be like he believes he has no value whatsoever. For someone who has mild depression, sometimes thinks that sometimes, because his stinking little head sometimes, which is not true, because I have to tell myself that every freaking day sometimes. But like, this little turd be like has so much freaking potential in his life, because he let a little, some things happen in his life. Be like, that happens. Be like, we all go through crap. We do. And be like, it's understandable. But it does not define who we are. It doesn't. And that's what Shinji does the entire time. Be like, oh, I killed Kaoru. Oh, I did this terrible thing in front of my coworker. Or in front of Asuka. Which, again, slap. What the crap are you doing?
Why were you even doing that?
Yeah. And that's
even before you.
yes. Anyways, like Drew said before, be like, Masato is literally a mother figure to him, and he's so self-absorbed in himself that he doesn't even realize that, like, oh, she sacrificed her life, that he's touched by it, but he's so broken he can't do anything, or he doesn't want to do anything. And he believes like, oh, no one cares about me. No one cares about me. Dude, be like, Masato cared about you. Be like, I get Ray cared about you to an extent. Asuka cared about you, obviously. But,
she was a bit of what they call a tsundere about it, but she cared about you.
Yeah. But good night, dude. Be like, the fact that, like, he's literally...
Kanji cared about you, for crying out loud.
Yeah, good night.
He's barely in this show.
Yeah, there's so many characters that care, love, and respect this character for what he does, but he's so self-absorbed in his own depression or his own be like, I have no value, I have no this, and I'm crying over everything. And the thing that got me was the fact to be like, he's finally at Unit 1. Masato has sacrificed her life in order to get Shinji to Unit 1, and he doesn't do anything. He sits there and just mopes and cries and just sits there in a stupor and does nothing while his Asuka is being slaughtered by those angels. And like, Avas, vulture angels, Avas, whatever they are. It's like, good night. It's like you're watching a friend, someone you care about, being slaughtered, and you're doing nothing. Nothing. And then, oh yeah, the AV Unit 1 wakes up, and then just like everything goes to crap, and it's just like, and he just it does nothing and thinks everywhere. Anyways, Shinji, do better. And that'll lead into my third dislike in a minute, but jeez, like again, main protagonist in this movie, he sounds more like a antagonist to me in some ways. So yeah, well, I'll get there when I get there later, but it's like Shinji's inactivity just is basically the downfall of this entire film, because due to him doing nothing, we have a lot of characters get killed off for no reason except for his selfishness. And like Drew said, be like, this guy literally goes from scumbag in the beginning of the film to the end, a scumbag. He doesn't change. There's no growth, no development. Be like, I like the end of the TV series, the way to fish.
At least that had
he
growth.
learned something. He learned to love himself. He learned to grow. He learned that people actually care about his sorry butt. But no, in this one, he's a sorry piece of crap.
I really hope the rebuild version of these films does this better.
It's a little bit better. A little. But it's like, yeah, Shinji is just a, like, this is a family-friendly show. And like, yeah, I don't, yeah. Bichon Frise. Anyways, that is my second dislike. Shinji's just a, yeah.
On that note, my second dislike.
Rentmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
Nate Marchand is going to appreciate that clip being used in this episode. Just saying.
You're welcome. Nate.
However, Shinji, get a grip on yourself. Quit being a scumbag. And here's just a wild idea. Be a freaking main character instead of just a glorified extra sitting underneath a stairwell because my best friend died because I killed him. I don't know why I'm using the unicorn voice for this. Because the unicorn had more cojones than Shinji has. Shinji, you over idiotic. Okay, let me back up.
Overinflated.
I get that the death of Kaoru is caused him to slip into a depression. And I know that depression hits you worse than just a funk, than just feeling sad. I know it's worse than that. And you don't literally, I understand when depression hits, when clinical depression hits you, which is what this is pretty much supposed to be, you don't feel like doing anything. Doesn't matter what's going on. It's hard to get a person motivated. I understand this. I may not have experienced it, but I understand it. At the same time, Shinji, get over yourself. You are the hero of the hour. You are the person we're supposed to feel excited when you finally go into battle. We're supposed to be cheering you on as you defeat angel after angel after angel. We're supposed to be hurt as you attack this giant version of Rei, one of your best friends, and honestly, as we can all understand, technically your mother. In a way. I understand this, but we don't get to see you kick butt. I don't just mean in this movie, I mean the whole frickin' series. There are episodes where he actually gets to do stuff, and he is the winner of many bouts. He defeated, or at least he was a major part of every angel defeat in this series. And yes, I understand you had to take a life in a very brutal way, not just another human. What to your understanding, even though it was an angel, what might as well have been another human being, and a human being who cared for you in a way and made you feel good about yourself, and then he asks you to kill him. If I did not understand how hard that was, I would be complaining. I would have complained about the minute-long scene in episode 24, where it's just the Evangelion holding the guy, and you can just kind of tell in a way Shinji's trying to say, do I do this or do I don't do this? I get that thing, but he wanted to die. I know you didn't want to do it, but he was going to cause the third impact intentionally. Shinji, you ignorant person. I can't even think of good words. You are the cause of the third impact.
You are the chosen one.
You are an idiot. You are the reason it happened. Not Gendo. Yeah, he pushed it along, but he's not the impetus. Not Asuka, because she actually kicked butt in this film, and she did everything she could to stop it from occurring. I'm not even blaming Rei, because as far as I'm concerned, the real Rei Ayanami died 2 episodes ago when she sacrificed herself to save you. The Rei from the episode after that, and the Rei in this film, that's just somebody else. That's apparently Lilith. That's not the Rei you got to know. As far as I'm concerned, she's already dead. But Shinji, get off your butt and do something. I can maybe forgive you getting all the way down there and seeing the Ava unit being covered in Bakelite, which I don't think Bakelite works that way, Hideaki Anno.
No. Breathe.
This Shinji is the protagonist. He's the hero. I'm supposed to be cheering for him. Every other deconstruction I have ever watched, whether I liked it or not, the hero still was the person you were rooting for. I never once rooted for Shinji. I was disappointed at every turn at his decisions, and it didn't start off great. I was happier to see Asuka Langley Soryus, a character who I don't really like, kick massive tail in this film, because she actually tried. Granted, it was all for naught, but she had no way of knowing it was all for naught. She is the hero, the closest thing we have to a hero of this story. Tragic hero, sure, but Shinji, you're the protagonist. You are supposed to be the hero. I'm supposed to be rooting for you. I'm supposed to be caring about what happens to you. And I'm sorry, but the minute Masato dies, throws you into that elevator, and you get down there, and instead of trying to find some way of getting into that Ava unit when it's nearly impossible to do so in that moment, you sit on the bridge and on top of, I'm assuming, LCL fluid, and just wallow in more self-pity. I get that you're depressed. You don't have the time to be depressed. Get off your tail and do business. Thank the Lord in heaven that the savior of our world is Jesus Christ and not Shinji Ikari.
Amen to that.
Because that world was screwed.
You're not kidding.
Pardon my language.
Are you good?
Mostly.
Okay.
Hideaki Anno, I know you were depressed when you were making the TV series, and you were not happy when you made this film. But you quite possibly made the most unlikable hero in fiction. Congratulations.
No applause. No applause for that. Third dislike.
I'm just saying, I think the cast of Twilight are better heroes than Shinji!
Wow, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one. All right.
Third dislike, Jacob, please.
Kind of like what Drew said just a minute ago. This world is screwed. Because the fate of the world is in the hands of a little narcissistic little prick. And he doesn't think he deserves to live. No one else deserves to live. Because he's a narcissist beyond measure. Because there again, in the TV show, he got better. He got better as a person. This movie, he's a little prick who's a narcissistic little turd who knows nothing of anybody else except himself. There's a great scene where I think it's during the third impact where he has an encounter with Asuka, and he's trying his best trying to get her attention, just love me, whatever, and be like she completely rejects him, and just like a narcissist would, is gonna blow up and do very terrible things to somebody because they don't get their way. And this, like Drew said, this is our hero. This is our protagonist of the movie, who is faced with the ultimate dilemma. What do I do? I have the fate of the world in my hands, and all I do is wallow in my own self-pity, wallow in my narcissism that, oh, I have no value, so no one else's value. And it's like somehow his own Ava talks to him a little bit like, hey, there's a little bit of hope here.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there's not.
Shinji's the chosen one.
Yeah, chosen one. You know, like, at least Anakin Skywalker at least redeemed himself. This kid didn't. This kid had no redemption whatsoever as a character at the end of this film. It was literally, oh, I'm the only one who should survive. And Asuka, for some reason, maybe she had a stronger will than most people. And everyone was totally fine with just being one entity. Okay? Again, everything in this movie is so vague, it's not even funny, and it's trying to be this very high philosophy, and again, it's not. It's very low level. And there again, if you've taken Philosophy 101 in college, you get it.
Yes.
It's not that hard.
The problem is this is the philosophy of a high schooler
Yeah, that's true.
who's watched way too much to depressing music.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a world that is literally gone to hell in a handbasket, is completely obliterated because of a narcissistic little prick who does not care for anyone except himself. And I wish we would have had the Shinji at the very end of the TV series, and instead of this little prick who's supposed to be our hero, but in truth, he's more of the villain of the piece.
Yeah.
We can say Third Impact, we can say Gendo, we can blame it all. But the fact to be like, this kid, this little narcissist little prick, decided the fate of everybody in humanity because I don't care about myself, so I don't care about others. So I'm gonna wipe everything out, except for me and the girl I kind of have a crush on, but I hate because I hate myself. Because I can't have anything else except me. You little prick. Bravo. No clap for you. The end of this movie is just so incredibly depressing and so incredibly insulting. Like Drew said, be like, you are supposed to be the hero. You are supposed to be the one that is supposed to rise above everything. Like he did in the very end of the series. Rise above it. Learn. Grow as a person. And instead, he wallowed in his self-pity and destroyed humanity because he was a prick. And he was a narcissist and selfish. I like Evangelion. I like the series. This movie I hate. I hate with a passion. It's so just disturbingly disgusting. And just, again, like Drew said, so thankful that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who came and died for our sins, isn't Shinji Ikari. Because Shinji would have been like, oh, screw you guys, I'm done. Be like, I'm gonna go wallow in my own kingdom. Thank you very much. Praise the Lord that our Savior was both human and God, and chose to save us from our own sins, rather, and then let us be separated from God forever. praise the Lord, he wasn't Shinji. So yeah, that is my third dislike.
My third dislike for this film.
Another rant master?
No, I'm not going to need it. This is just more of one. I'm. This would have been my second had I not needed to get that out of my system faster than I expected.
Fair.
I am a firm believer in the idea that symbolism, when included in a story, should be done in such a way that if you missed the symbol and what it was symbolizing, you can still enjoy what you're watching or what you're reading. That is the way it should be done, in my opinion. I am a believer in, even if you do not explain everything directly, you should explain it in such a way that when you are experiencing some of the stranger things in the story, it is easily acceptable as what it is and not just, what were you smoking? I consider this a problem, not just with the movie, because I don't think the movie had enough time to really get into it other than just show it and pray you did keep up with it. Because like I said earlier, one of the things I like is that the film doesn't hold your hand. It assumes you've watched the rest of the series and understand as much as you can what is actually going on in the series so you can jump into this and experience the ending of it. And in my opinion, once the third impact starts, this thing just takes a 90-degree turn into Toontown, except Toontown made more sense, and just starts going off the wall with what's going on. There was not a hint at all of like half of what was going on. What I was watching, what I was looking at. I guessed it was the third impact because it's about the only thing it could be at this point. You've got the show never told us or gave any hint what the third impact really was. It kind of did with episodes 25 and 26 when it was going into the human instrumentality stuff, but it really didn't explain in a very clear way what was going on. It didn't explain what the third impact would actually cause, because as far as I can tell, the first impact, which I'm assuming is when Lilith landed on Earth and created humanity, and the second impact was when they woke up Adam up on Antarctica. I caught that much only because of Death True, whatever it's called.
Got it.
The backup, because at least in the Netflix dub, they did not really explain what was going on there. It didn't. It took until I watched that thing where it's like, oh, that is actually Adam. They eventually would transport somehow off into wherever Adam went before he became the embryo.
Yeah, that still makes no sense.
Yeah. There was something that popped up. I meant to take a picture of and send it to you that dealt with that embryo, and I can't now remember what it is.
You'll figure it out.
I think it was in Rebirth, but whatever. I was completely lost as to what actually was occurring. I knew it was the third impact, but that was so vague. What that meant from both from the series and the movie. Like I said, the movie does not have time, but there should have been one of those episodes where they were mostly doing more filler stuff. There should have been some, or maybe in the birth of Nerve, that episode, there should be some sort of explanation as to what is the third impact? What is it going to do? What are we trying to stay away from? The only clue we even get prior to that is when Sele goes off the deep end in episode 24. Because up until that point, I thought they were fairly sane, if not just shadowy guys. But then they go off the wall and decide we're causing the third impact by sending Kaoru in there to go do stuff. And I go, the show has not explained to us what even the third impact is going to be, what it's going to cause. What is this actual apocalyptic thing? I'm not saying I need it spelled out. I'm saying I at least need to understand it in such a way that even while you're being vague when I actually start seeing what's going on in the end of Evangelion when the third impact is going on. I'm not going, well, I guess that must be the third impact. I should know, oh crap, the third impact is happening. Everything's going to pot. Except I'm sitting there trying to figure out what it is I'm looking at. We didn't even know there was it was not clear, at least to me anyway, that the Ava series that we see in this was even being worked on. Yes, there were production units involved being made. They mentioned that, but the fact that they were all going to be these basically angels, because they're not Evangelion units. Not in the way we've seen Ava units throughout the rest of the series. These are entirely new shebangs. These things probably don't even have pilots.
Nope.
They are literally
Dummy
human-made angels, which I guess you'd call demons.
Yes.
Not that they ever said that. There's just no freaking explanation about what's going on. The minute the Ava series shows up, I feel like the movie has just decided we're just going to keep throwing the crap at you at the screen until the film ends. Have fun, guys. I hope you can catch up. I hope you can follow. By the way, you guessed it, Rey is actually the villain. Except she's not. Except she is. Except she's not. Have fun. I'm like, okay. I know I said I was going to talk about my thoughts on the series after I rated the film. Forget that. I'm going into it now. All my issues in general with the plotting of that series. There is so much they show you that is a plot point for an episode, and it's supposed to be important enough that you're supposed to remember when stuff happens, you're supposed to go, oh, that's not good. Except when it happened, I go, what is that? Why do I care? What do I care about the Spear of Longinus? What is that? It's somehow stopping Lilith from having a full body. Okay, what does that mean? What is that? What trouble is that? Why is Sele pissed that Gendo had it thrown to the moon? And why is it such a big deal when it suddenly decides to shoot back and help Shinji? Why did it shoot back to Shinji? Why? Granted, I've seen it once. I probably, if I watched this a couple more times, I would probably understand maybe a little bit better, since I'm not trying to figure out what's going on from really Shinji's last hurrah before he's sucked into the death dimension underneath that one angel. You know which one I'm talking about.
Right.
Because that really was the last high point of the series, or the last emotionally high point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't really it doesn't feel like it was explained enough for me to suspend my disbelief. That's what it gets down to. I'm not saying I need it fully spelled out to me. I'm saying it's not. There are many things in the series and in this movie that are not explained to the point where I can suspend my disbelief enough to accept it as what I'm seeing. And that's part of the reason why I think they must have intended this to go on to be like a 52 episode series, and it got cut off halfway through because maybe it just was not getting as many as the ratings that they needed to make it viable for a money-making product on television at the time. That's my theory. It's my guess. I don't know. It just feels like the show, the last half of it is sped up to such a degree, and then it's actually sped up too much because obviously it should have ended, but it ran out of money and they had to do the best they could. And at the time, there's one word I can use to describe my entire thoughts on Evangelion, the series, and End of Evangelion, and one word. You want to know what that word is?
What would that be?
Disappointing.
Okay.
Not in the story, in the storytelling. It craps the bed in the end of in the final chapters, and the movie feels like it's depending on you knowing stuff that was explained in the series, and the series did not explain it.
Yeah, I agree. To an extent, I agree.
Right. And I get maybe this is just a me thing.
Yeah.
I get that. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't enjoy this film or enjoy the series. I'm not saying that it's even though I don't agree with the philosophy, I'm not even saying you have to do as I think the way I do. I'm just saying I am as much as this show and this movie have been elevated to such a level of importance within the anime and otaku community. I am disappointed at how horribly the writing is in the final chapters.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So kind of going
I
off-
liked Fully Cooley better.
Oh, wow. Fully Cooley?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Honestly, I figure it told its story better than this tells its story at the end of it. Now, granted, I've not seen the other series of Fully Cooley. I've only seen the original, the 6-episode OVAs. But honestly, even though it is rushed in the last chapter too, I feel it does a better job of explaining itself, of telling its story than this does in the end. Because at the beginning, it's fine. Up until, like I said, Shinji gets sucked down into the whatever the name of that, the Adric Sea, is that what they called it?
Something like that.
Something to that effect. Up until that point, the show was fine and engaging, and I was following it. And it's starting with that episode where it feels like we have to get this done because we only have a certain number of episodes left, and before we run out of money, and the network will continue to work with us to get this out. It really does feel like they were intending it to go longer, and it didn't, and that's why it craps itself in the end.
Fair. That is fair.
That's just my opinion. If you think I'm an idiot, that's fine. I've been called a lot worse to my face by a loud, angry, screaming woman.
That's an interesting story for another day.
But we're not getting into that.
Yes.
Jacob, as we end our coverage of Emotional Damage, the anime series, aka Neon Genesis Evangelion, everything but the rebuild films, what are you rating this film?
Okay, so before I do that, because you kind of went a deep dive into the series.
I had to complete my thoughts. I apologize.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good, because I think it's a good point right here where Evangelion be like, I love the story, I love the characters, I love the way they are damaged, because it is a reconstruction of the mecha genre, like basically everything, and this whole combination of everything about this be like. And the problem I do have with Evangelion is the background, the lore, and the everything, all the high philosophy is never really explained. Like, what is nerve? What is Sele? What are the angels? What are the Avas?
There's so much lore they don't go into at all.
There's so much. There's nothing built on it. It's literally, oh, this big fluff stuff. Oh, this is just stuff. There's no real
It's
rhyme
just
or
flavor
reason.
text.
Yeah, it's
just flavor text. It has no meat.
Exactly. But like, yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. I love the series all the way through. But like, even though be like, yeah, we had Karu, and I thought that was like, just no. But the show as itself, I love to death. It'd be like, if I was going to rate the show itself, it'd be like, yeah, it's high praise for me. I can see where people don't like it. I can see where people were stupid enough and angry enough to threaten Anno about it. Which, again, why would you be like, just people, just come on, grow a brand. And the whole reason like he made this was be like, be like, oh, you don't like how I did that? Oh, you're gonna threaten my family? You're gonna threaten everything in my life? It's okay. So I'm gonna throw you through the blender and show you exactly how I think about you with this movie. And I think this, again, this is a detriment to the show, because it takes out episode 25, 26, and this is the substitute. And it's so incredibly disappointing. But like, when I first watched it, I was like, whoa, this is something, because I was under the big impression, oh my gosh, Evangelion, oh my gosh, this and this and this. Now that I'm a little more seasoned and understanding, because I'm a reviewer, it sours the show. It sours it so badly because we have a young boy who goes from be like I don't know what to do to a young man who finally discovers who he is, and he's got to be, okay with that. That's a message we all need to learn.
Yeah.
This takes a big crap on everything and just throws every disturbing thing at you and like just sours the show. Now, will I love the show? Yes. This movie, no. This movie is just ugh. In so many ways. So many ways. It is just so vile and disgusting. It's just like, geez. And the fate of the world is left in this little narcissistic little prick. Bravo. You made your point. But yeah. So when I'm reading this I'm going to give it now because I had a 6.5 in there. And I was like, it's not that bad, throughout the course. And I was like, no, I kind of agree with Drew here a lot about how this movie is just a crapper, and it's just it's done very beautifully, very well done. It's just the story is just like, and everything, I'm gonna give it a 5. Like it's one of those, if you're a fan of Evangelion, go watch it. If you're not, you have no clue what's going on. It's like watching Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. You have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I wouldn't like, if you want to watch something disturbing, disgusting, and you have no idea what's going on, okay, sure, go ahead, watch it.
I think there are better versions of that out there, but yeah, go, sure,
there's
whatever.
There's better versions of it.
I can't stop you from watching anything.
Yeah, but would I recommend this movie? No, absolutely not. But oh my gosh, a 5. Yo. Well,
go ahead.
Let me save this. It gets a 5 because the series has a little grace behind it. A little bit. The animation gives it a little grace. That's about it. There. Said my piece. What do you reckon?
On the basis of the animation alone, as it's about the only... It's the strongest thing this movie has.
Besides Asuka.
I give it a 4.
Oh, okay.
The story is not for me. The animation is beautiful. Asuka's fight is amazing to watch. It's the best thing in the film. And I should have been worried that it comes so early in the film. And don't get me wrong, the animation of the apocalypse is beautiful. The whole thing is animated on ones. It is brilliantly animated. But even the most polished turd is still a turd. So I'm giving it a 4. Because it's not as bad as other things we've watched for Bad Movie Month. I would not even consider this a contender for Bad Movie Month if we were even talking about it, because honestly, this is the kind of movie that it doesn't really matter if you like it or not. You should be able to appreciate what it's doing even if you disagree with it. And I will admit, I do appreciate what it's doing even though I disagree with it and don't like it.
Yeah.
But that is not what these ratings are. These ratings are not a general term of quality. They're a general term of whether or not we like the film. And on that basis alone, I am giving it a 4.
Wow.
Anyway.
So, now that
we're free!
For now.
For now.
We are done with emotional damage. Praise the Lord.
On that note, join us on the other side of the bumpers. I don't know why I'm giggling now. Join us on the other side of the bumpers, and we will get to what we've been watching, some news, and we will begin a much happier anime as we look at the first couple episodes of Spy Family.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, because at this point you need all the encouragement you can get, and very much knowing that you are loved, we suggest checking out Geek Devotions. Geek Devotions is a collaboration of devoted geeks who, as I said a minute ago, are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. Shinji needed them more than anybody else this week. They produce a weekly geek culture infused devotional. Their podcast, Con Talk, and written articles, all designed to encourage and challenge people in the geek community, along with every other show in their sister network to Culture Box, in a way. This all is bridging the gap between their faith and their geekdoms. You can find all of their content over at geekdevotions.com. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Ashley and Francisco Ruiz, Book of Gaming, PaulJPowers.com, Edwin Gonzalez, and finally, the Monster Island Film Vault, who will be joining us in our next episode because he paid us money to review something. If you would like to pay us money to review something, give us $10. But if you want that, and that will also get you everything at the $5 level if you don't want to pay the extra money, which will allow you to listen to uncut episodes of our podcast, special art from Jacob, exclusive for a limited time only, reviews of X-Men 97. Yes, you heard me right. We have a limited exclusive series over there. Go check that out. If you want any of that, go donate to us over on patreon.com. So, Jacob, with all this emotional damage behind us, what did you, how did you recover by telling us, I don't know, I just screwed the whole thing up. Jacob.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? So we took a little bit of a small little break.
Micro hiatus
for a day or two.
Somebody was hoarse. And Deedlit was not responsible.
Yes. So
only because the transmogrifier still out of juice. I'm surprised you hadn't figured out a way to fix that yet.
And torture them.
Oh, the parts are on order, but they're 100 light years away. Well, that's great.
Yeah. Saying. Anyways, so me and my fiance watched a movie that she had never seen, which was Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Exactly. She liked it. I've always enjoyed it. It was a great movie to watch.
Raiders is a great film.
It's a great film.
I disagree with the Big Bang Theory and that Indy was not necessary.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Sheldon, you're wrong. You are so wrong, Sheldon.
Actually, it was not Sheldon. It was Amy.
Oh, I thought it was Sheldon.
Curse you, Amy.
Anyways, I got a better appreciation for the film because there again, as a reviewer, and sometimes I don't know when to shut up during a film. The curse of having two.
I have no room to talk.
Yeah, the curse of having two younger brothers and you just run commentary the entire time. So yeah, I was very proud of myself. I didn't run commentary. So for her turn, we watched Steel Magnolia. And I had heard of this film, hanging around with some women every once in a while. Let me rephrase that. Like when I would hang around with like my lady friends and people I know, and they would talk about movies, and it's like, oh, Steel Magnolia. Oh, I love Steel Magnolia. It's the greatest movie ever. And apparently it's one of Ashley's favorite films. So we watched it one night. I have to say, it's a good movie. It's a chick flick, very much chick flick. And I like the performances. There's the end of the film. If you hadn't seen the film, be like, you might want to go watch it. I'm not going to say go watch it or not, but you can go watch it if you want. And some people might be typing in the comment section and be like, Still Magnolia is the best movie. Okay, fair enough. But it's not my cup of tea. I loved Sally Field's performances. All the performances were great. And it's like, oh, okay, I see this coming a mile away. Okay, this is going to happen. Because there again, I've been doing a podcast for 5 years. Be like, you kind of get these things, how movies work and how plots work. So it was a pretty good movie. I'm not going to say it was my favorite. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to watch it again at some point. But hey, you do that for, the ones you love, right? Not saying that in a bad way either. So recently, or as of this last Saturday, I had asked my fiance Ashley if she wanted to go see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which is now in theaters. And so we went to our Studio Movie Grill in Tyler, which is the town up the road from us. We went and watched it, and oh my gosh, this movie was good. So I would recommend, do not listen to the critics. Don't go to Rotten Tomatoes. I did earlier today to see the dynamic shift between audience and reviewers. It is so bipolar, it's not even funny.
Welcome to movies.
Yeah, welcome to modern movies. So, like we always say, be like, if you haven't seen a film and you're getting your thoughts and your opinions from other reviewers, go watch it yourself. For me, this was, in my humble opinion, it's the third best Ghostbusters film of the franchise. It's done so well. It's got good comedy, good storytelling. Yeah, it's got a big cast. It's got big different sections, but they all intersect at one point, which is a really good point. And it's like, wow, this is really good. Now, watching the film, I'm saying like, okay, this is okay. Here's the Deus
Ex Machina.
No, not Deus Ex Machina, but the here's the Chekhov's gun. Where's this going to be used again? It's like there is a certain character in the movie that shows up. I'm like, oh no, not this actor. Oh great, this is going to turn the movie down a notch, 3.5. But wasn't bad. Like the acting is done very well. It's got a lot of nostalgia. Like it just throws that 80s nostalgia rod so far into the 80s. And it's like it's so well done. I love it. It's not be like my ranking for Ghostbusters goes as follows: Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters the original from 1980, I think 84. I think I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it.
Don't look at me.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Ghostbusters 2, and the one that's the fifth one, which was not good at all. Ghostbusters Answer the Call. Don't go watch this piece of crap. Let's just be honest. If you've watched it, you understand what I'm getting. If you like the film, okay, we can agree to disagree. But I thoroughly enjoyed Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Go watch it. Go enjoy it. And let those critics know that like the audiences do matter. We actually have an opinion. So yeah, go watch it. Go have your own opinion about the film. So I recently concluded the series NCIS Season 2 on Netflix. And I just got to say, the episode 24, 25, episode called Twilight, it'll hit you in the gut. It's a good episode. It is such a good episode, and they lead into 3, and it's just like 3's good. 4 is good, and it's oh my gosh, season 5, oh my gosh, because they're gonna be like, for me, I didn't grow up watching NCIS because by the time it came out, I was already in college, but that's like, wow, this is a good. Now, granted, it's a 21, 22 seasons already. It's nuts, and how many spinoffs? A lot. But yeah, I enjoy NCIS. I love NCIS for the most part, but yeah. I'm going through season season 3 right now, and season 3 has got a lot more Easter eggs for a certain character. So yeah, I've got that, and I'm continuing to listen to Through the Griffin Door, which is a Super Carlin Brothers podcast. These are guys from YouTube, and they are going through right now chapter 9 of the Chamber of Secrets from Harry Potter, and I am enjoying their whimsical commentary on the book, on chapter by chapter. So yeah, that's what I've been watching and listening to. You?
So, as y'all probably remember from last week, I am working my rewatching I am rewatching Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball from 84, 85. And I just finished the Emperor Pilaf arc.
Oh.
So I just got to see the first wish on the Dragon Balls. I got to see Goku turn into a giant monkey.
Monkey smash.
And I got to thinking there's got to be a way to get
Poor
this
Gohan.
on Monster Island Film Vault. Gotta be a way, but I can't think of a way. And then
A tribute to Toriyama, maybe?
maybe, but
Come on, Nate. Come on.
That
Come
may
on.
not be what Nate wants to do.
I know.
And then I started the World Martial Arts Tournament arc, which of course starts off with Goku training with Master Roshi, and of course Goku gets a training buddy starting in this arc.
Little bald head
with 6 little cigarette burns on his scars on his forehead.
Right.
Who may or may not have a nose. He doesn't have a nose, folks.
No, he doesn't have a nose.
That's why he's able to win his first bout in the Tenkaichi Budokai, aka the Strongest Under the Heavens tournament, aka the World Martial Arts Tournament in the English. And I'm sorry, that has less gravitas than the Tenkaichi Budokai or Strongest Under the Heavens.
Oh my gosh.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Bobo asks in our chat, well, then how does he smell? According to the late Akira Toriyama, he breathes through his skin.
Okay.
I am quoting. Or maybe maybe this is actually the answer you're looking for. Pretty bad if he doesn't go take a shower.
Ooh, yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
I am watching through that, and it's amazing. I'm enjoying how much fun the series is at this early point. Yeah, you still got Roshi being a perv,
of course.
And that's the other thing. There is a new character in here that you probably are not aware of. A character who only appeared in the first couple of seasons, and then literally Toriyama forgot the character existed.
The cat?
No. Poir is there.
Oh, Poir is there? Okay.
No, this character is a young woman who will end up pretty much being the live-in cook for Roshi for a couple of arcs.
Oh, yeah.
Who
I'm thinking of
has the an interesting little quirk. Every time she sneezes, she turns into a bank robbing bandit who don't take no guff off no man. As you can imagine, living with Roshi.
Wow.
Fun fact, Master Roshi, Goku, and Krillin can survive a hail of bullet fire. Granted, this is still in the comedic part, so it doesn't really matter. But still, it's like, oh, you survived.
Yeah.
Before the training, and then we get to see the training where Goku and Krillin are running all across the countryside delivering milk while wearing these 50 kiloton turtle shells, making them stronger due to the as is always the way of getting stronger in Dragon Ball. Just make it to where you can't hardly move because of gravity, and you will get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
This happens later on in Dragon Ball Z, where they decide, we're going to train at 100 times Earth's gravity. That should crush you like a sponge.
It should.
You should not be able to walk upright. Your spine should be made of sand now.
It's coursing. It's everywhere.
That too. But yeah, the show is fun at this stage, and I'm enjoying it. And there's not been that much filler, believe it or not, yet. I know it's coming.
It's Dragon Ball.
It's Dragon Ball. There's going to be tons of filler later on. So yeah, I've been watching that. Of course, watched X-Men 97. Go listen to our review on that after you spend us
$5. Oh my gosh!
After you pay us $5.
Yes.
And then
I would say it is highly worth watching.
it is good. It's a very good show. I do suggest watching it.
Yes.
Like we were saying earlier, don't listen to the critics, because some of the critics are being, some of the critics before the show came out were being a little nasty.
A little harsh.
And honestly, I watched as like, I'm 5 years old again.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun.
Yeah. 7 years old for me, but still.
Whatever. I'm just estimating on age anyway. So yeah, this is such a, that was a good show. And of course, I am still playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I haven't streamed it in a bit, mostly because I think the Saturday morning idea I had, while fits our show's motif to a T, doesn't appear anybody's awake at that hour, because I've had so few people actually showing up. So I am probably going to change what time I am doing streaming. Probably, I don't know yet. So keep an eye out for that announcement. May not go back to Rebirth for the stream, may go to some other game, but I am enjoying the full out of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That is That game is so good. Which kind of threw me, because I was really, even before we played Remake, because we did that on the stream, I was worried that the game was just going to be, we know everyone wants this game. We're gonna put some money into it. We're gonna make it a game, but it's not gonna be great. The original is still gonna be better. Honestly, I have no idea which is better at this point. It's done very good, and even though I know the story and I know the high points, I keep getting interested to see where the story is going, especially since there is the little meta narrative thing that Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy is doing. So that's like, there's another thing on top of it, by the way. If you didn't know, it is still telling the original story, but at the same time, by the way, stuff is happening in Midgar, and I have no idea how it's happening. I don't want to get into that. You if you want to know, go check out that first episode I did, and watch the part where Zach Fair is running around town and sees our crew lying on stretchers. It's like, but they escaped. And I'm still going, what is going on? I don't understand. And I still don't understand, because they literally have had only one other scene since then. I just ran across it last night. That game is very good, and I highly suggest it. Wish you were had been able to join me for the game, like we did with Remake, but scheduling wise right now just wasn't gonna work.
Fair.
Other than that, that's pretty much all I have been partaking of.
Nice.
So, Jacob, what do we have in the news?
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
Why, thank you, Dealet. And going into the news, Warner Bros. Pictures Animation and Dr. Seuss Entertainment has locked in an all-star comedic cast. Either this is going to be interesting or dumb.
For what movie is this?
The Cat in the Hat. An animated movie of cat. In that.
It can't be as bad as the Michael Myers film.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It said
so-
Michael Myers.
Yes.
Instead of Mike Myers. There's a difference.
Yeah, like yeah, we don't know psychopath with a with a yeah. We reviewed Halloween, right? Both
On Movie of the Week podcast.
yeah. So if you want to listen to our comments on that, go download those episodes, give it a listen. So yes, there will be a Cat in the Hat, which will premiere in theaters globally on March 6th, 2026. And the voice of the cat will be Bill Hader.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I have there. Let's see. DreamWorks. This is coming from the last weekend. DreamWorks animation franchise flick Kung Fu Panda 4 held on to the opening weekend, retaining the #1 box office spot domestically for the second week in a row with $30 million. That's down 48% from 4,067 67 screenings plus 23 plus 22. The animated family pick squeaked ahead of legendary Warner Bros. Dune Part 2, which brought in $29.1 million once again. In total, the fourth adventure of the Dragon Warrior has hit $107.7 million domestically as of this previous Sunday. So, unless you have anything else, Drew, that's all I have for news.
That is all I have. So, why don't we have a little fun as we end this episode with a look at a much lighter
Yes.
show, Spy Family.
Yes.
James Bond Jr.
Impossible. Call me big man if you want a rich man. When you want to face me, it's okay.
The man from Flintstone.
What an agent, what a squirrel. He's got the country in a whirl. What's his name? Shh, secret squirrel.
Johnny Quest.
Anybody want to feel it?
I forgot I had that last clip on
Yes.
there. From Princess Bride.
Yes.
Spy Family is based on a manga created by Tatsuya Endo and published by Shueisha's Shonen Jump Plus digital magazine. The animation is a collaboration between Wit Studio and Cloverworks, where Wit Studio is making the odd numbered episodes and Cloverworks making the even numbered ones. The episodes are made entirely within the realm of a single studio without much involvement from the other. The only exception is for the next animation stage effects like lightning or other special effects, which Wit and Cloverworks work on together to ensure that the process is consistent. I got that from the website The Mary Sue, and Kristen Carey wrote the article this is from. Our first episode, or should I say mission,
Yeah.
because all these episodes are called missions. Mission 1, Operation Strix. First aired April 9th, 2022. Directed by Kazuhiro Furuhashi and written by Tomomi Tawaguchi, and adapts the manga from chapter 1 from pages 5 to 70. I may have gone a little deep into this.
Maybe.
In this episode, a spy with the new identity of Lloyd Forger must find and adopt a child for his next mission. In this episode, we have the first appearances of Lloyd Forger, played by Takuya Iguchi in the Japanese version and Alex Organ in the US version. Anya Forger, played by Atsumi Tanizaki in the Japanese version and Megan Shipman in the US. Frankie Franklin, that's the guy with the fuzzy hair.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He is played by Hiroyuki Yoshino in the Japanese version and Anthony Bowling in the US. Bondman, the anime that Anya likes to watch.
That makes sense.
That character's voiced by Taisuke Nakano in the Japanese version and Aaron Campbell in the US. Edgar, the head of the villainous organization that captures Anya at the end of this, and technically he was working against at the beginning of the episode too.
That's right.
He was voiced by Atsushi Ono in the Japanese version and R. Bruce Elliott in the US version. Nguyen, which is probably not how you actually say that name.
Yeah.
But he's the one that Lloyd pretends to be in order to sneak in.
That's right. Yeah.
He was voiced by Yuji Murray in the Japanese version and Matthew David Rudd in the US version. Karen, the daughter of Edgar, was played by Maria Oi in the Japanese version and Tia Ballard in the US version. And our narrator of the show was voiced by Kenshiro Matsuda in the Japanese version and Ben Phillips in the American version. Trivia for this episode. This is the first episode with the ending theme comedy written and performed by Gen Hoshino, though it is not the normal ending credit sequence with this song. This is the beginning of the introduction arc, which in this one introduces Lloyd Forger, aka Agent Twilight of Wise, from the country of Westalis. The name Lloyd is likely a play on the word lloyding, which is a lock-picking technique that consists of opening a lock using a flat object like a credit card, which is consistent with Lloyd's real occupation. And see, I just thought Lloyd was like Lloyd, L-L-O-Y-D.
Yeah.
That's all I thought it was originally. Also, the introduction of Anya Forger, aka Test Subject 007.
Really?
Yeah. She is a native of Ostania, the country that Lloyd is working against. Anya is a Slavic diminutive word of the name Anna, meaning grace.
So her real name's not Anastasia?
It's not Anna either. Anya's former code name, Test Subject 007, is, of course, a reference to the fictional character James Bond and his code number of 007. Also, Anya's name is most likely a reference to Major Anya Amasova, a Soviet intelligence operative from the 10th James Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh, okay.
Actually, haven't seen that one yet.
Neither.
Anya's name was originally written in English in Roman letters as Anya, spelled A-N-I-A, by Tatsuya Endo, and thus was often written as such in the backgrounds of some of the earlier chapters. This carries over to the anime as evidenced by the sign on her bedroom door.
That makes sense.
In the anime, it is revealed that the poster Anya wanted to buy was a Spy Wars one. This was not in the manga. Also, Anya is holding the poster when she tearfully begs Lloyd not to get rid of her, which is not in the manga.
Right.
In the anime, Lloyd checks his and Anya's rooms after beating the goons, while in the manga, he only checks Anya's room. Additionally, Lloyd checking his room and finding Anya's Chimera doll is an anime original scene. The map of Westalis and Ostania, shown in page 6 of the manga and at the beginning of this movie, of this episode, is identical to the real-world geography of West Germany and East Germany during the Cold War era. With the exception of Berlin in this universe not having a giant wall going down it.
True.
Or as it's known here, Berlin. The newspaper Lloyd reads on the train features real-life events that occurred in 2018, like Japan lowering the age of adulthood to 18 and mentioning former U.S. President Donald Trump.
Well, that makes sense.
The PIN number to Lloyd's room is 6110, which, when written in Japanese, can be pronounced Lloyd.
Alrighty then.
Anya's application number is K212. This number comes from the postal code for Kawasaki, where Endo used to work.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is what I've got for the trivia for this episode. Now, you've seen the first couple of these episodes before.
Yes.
But you've not finished.
No.
You didn't go past what, like episode 3 or 4?
I think
probably?
it was 3 or 4.
And that's kind of what I was thinking, because we were watching this at Chase's house back in the day.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it may even been Easter now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I missed a Bible study out at his place where we were watching the show afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got home thinking, oh, they're already going to have watched this episode, I don't want to be behind, I went ahead and watched the next episode, episode 5, which we'll get to, and y'all hadn't watched it.
No.
And I was the only one who kept watching the show after that point.
And you got obsessed.
I got obsessed with this show because it is that good. I caught up to the English, started over in the Japanese.
Wow.
Because I could not stand to be behind where the Japanese was. So what are your thoughts though on this first episode?
This first episode was such a treat. It was like, there again, it sets up the characters beautifully. Be like, we're introduced to Twilight, or as he's later known as, you just said his name,
Lord Forger.
And his task of be like, oh, I have to infiltrate this organization, and I have to, get married and have a kid. And it was like his expression when he reads the dossier is just like, what? It's like, how is this possible? I can't do this.
Especially like the beginning before, not when he rips the paper in half, even though that's funny too, but he's just drinking this cup of coffee. He reads what he wants to do, and just like, it's like he doesn't even do a normal spit take. It's just like he's so in character as a spy that he's just still sitting there normal and just spews his coffee all over the paper.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so, and his way of like, it's like, oh, I need to adopt the child. And it's like, oh, let's go to this rundown orphanage. Oh, they don't care if you just grab a kid and run. And which kid does he grab? Anya.
So here's the thing about Anya. She's obviously I did not mention this. She's a psychic.
Yeah, psychic. Very psychic.
And more than likely, she's actually only 4 years old.
Yes.
She wants to be 6 so she can go home.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lloyd needs a 6-year-old to enter kindergarten.
Yes.
This is a 4-year-old child. To give you an idea how smart this girl actually is.
Well, it's not really smart. It's more like she's able to read someone's mind.
But I'm saying
smart,
that knowing where it goes.
But her telekinesis is very good.
She's got a super overpowered technique. It's just she's so immature she can't use it properly.
That is true.
She doesn't even think of how to use it properly.
No, but oh my gosh, it's like whenever like Lloyd is talking, like saying something to himself and be like, it's like, yeah, I'm a spy, blah blah blah. And it's just like, oh, Dad's a spy. Oh my gosh, he's so cool.
Papa's a liar.
Papa's a very good liar.
Papa's a big liar. But I don't care.
So good. It's so good. Like these two characters are such a wonderful treat together. It's not even funny because there again, we just came from Neon Genesis Evangelion, emotional damage. So this is like,
right.
This is a nice refresher.
This is a nice salve.
This is a nice. It's like a nice fluffy cake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice.
Great apple pie.
I'll go with cake. I never liked apple pie.
Cake is a lie. Moving on.
Cake is a lie. But I love the dynamics of these two characters. It's Lloyd. He's trying to do everything, the spy thing, and Anna kind of gets herself kidnapped, and I mean, like he does the spy thing. Just kicks all kinds of butt and just smooth operated the entire time, and it's just like, what in the world? It's played so straight, but it's such a comedy the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny. And just like how he plays it straight as an arrow, the whole enchilada. It's like, this is business for me, blah, 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 blah. Be like, I've got to get her in this school. We're going to cheat. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then Anna's just like, oh, okay, whatever.
We're going on a mission.
We're going on a mission. It's great. And like, this episode is so delightful, and we didn't even say where you can go watch it. It's on
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. If you have
and
Crunchyroll.
if you don't mind watching the Japanese dub only, it's on Hulu too.
Oh, okay. So, yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this first episode. It was a treat to listen to. And just the second episode is like, what the crap are we getting into?
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about this episode more than the rest of it, is actually in the ending, when after he is in disguise as Naguyan, or however you say that name, gets her out of the place.
Oh yeah.
Gives her the note with this ridiculous story he tries to tell her about how they're all hide and seek people, and when they see someone they can play, they try to get them to, and gives her this note to get her to go to the police station so that she can get into a better thing, because he's not going to put a child at risk like this. This is ridiculous. And he starts going into the reasons why he became a spy in the first place. The part I like is the fact that he's saying all this in his mind. Anya's hearing all of it.
Yes.
And even though before this was just fun for her, that moment when she turns around and he's doing that cool walk, taking the mask off and everything, you can tell that's the moment that she fell in love with him as a father figure.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter. That is her father from now on out. It doesn't matter what he does. And I just love how you can just tell by the look on her face, this is the beginning of a beautiful family. Or fake family.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But yeah, this is a great first episode. This is still a little bit subdued from where it goes.
Subdued?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So yeah, this I do enjoy this episode, but let's go ahead and jump into the second episode.
Yes.
Mission 2, Secure a Wife, which first aired on April 16th, 2022, directed by Takahiro Harada and written by Rino Yamazaki. In need of a wife for the school interview, Twilight crosses with a woman who might be the right cover-up for his mission. However, she has secrets of her own.
No.
New cast members for this episode. We get to meet Your Forger, or as she's known for most of this episode, Your Briar.
Your bride.
Briar
Patch.
That'll
Briar
make
Rabbit.
sense either way.
Briar Rabbit.
We reviewed that movie already.
Yes, we have.
In the Japanese version, she was voiced by Sayori Hayami, and in the English version by Natalie Van Sistine. We get to hear over the phone the voice of her brother, Yuri Briar, voiced by Kensho Ono in the Japanese and Dallas Reed in the US version. We get to meet Camilla, one of the head, the main jerky coworker of yours.
Yeah.
The one that the party is at.
Yes.
She's played by Yumeka Shoji in the Japanese version and Morgan Garrett in the US version. Millie, one of the other one of her other coworkers there at the City Hall.
Yes.
Voiced by Manaka Iwami in the Japanese and Caitlin Barr in the US. Sharon, another one of those, voiced by Miri Kumagi in the Japanese and Leah Clark in the US. Dominic, who is not only dating Camilla, maybe married, it's hard to tell, but is a good friend of Yuri's. He is voiced by Shohei Kajikawa in the Japanese version and Jordan Dash Cruz in the US version. Lastly, we get to hear the voice of Shopkeeper, which is Yours real boss, voiced by Junichi Sawabe in the Japanese version and Jim Forunda in the US version.
Okay.
So, yeah, we started the introduction arc last episode. This episode, we end it. This is the first episode with the opening sequence, which is a song called Mixed Nuts by, and I definitely will screw this name up, Official Hige Dandism is the name of the band.
Okay.
When Thorn Princess is washing her hands after killing everyone in room 1307, in the anime, the shot is more zoomed in compared to the original manga panel, possibly to reduce the amount of blood and bodies visible for censorship reasons.
Yeah.
When Yor thinks to herself that she will never be a homemaker, the shot of the floor is changed from the manga to be less explicit. In the anime, no blood can be seen, and the dead bodies are more out of frame. In the anime, when Yor is waiting for Lloyd, the clock above her is visible twice. This allows us to know that she waited for him for approximately an hour and a half.
Wow.
In the anime, when Lloyd mistakenly calls himself Yor's husband, he appears more shaken up from the car accident compared to his manga counterpart, who appears to be in more serious injuries.
Right.
Serious injuries. Later, when Lloyd apologizes to Yor for this, he does so in an awkward manner compared to his more frantic behavior in the manga. After Lloyd and Yor run from the smugglers, there's an anime original scene where Lloyd and Yor are fighting off the smugglers before running away again.
Yes.
And for some reason, I did not get which page numbers of the manga this was from. So, what do you think of Thorn Princess?
Thorn Princess. Oh
AKA Yor Briar.
Yeah, your Briar. Jeez Louise. I was like, okay, this is an introduction to a character. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, okay, she's this kind of like mild-mannered, young lady. Like, introduction to Yor Briar?
Yes.
Yor Briar is chimneys. Like, oh crap, she's an assassin. Okay, that's cool. And then we get all of our characters getting to meet. It's just like, and like obviously, Twilight has to, it's like he has to find a bride for his mission, and just so happens to run into Yor, and just like they have this very awkward conversation about everything. It's like, oh, can you be my date to this thing because I really don't want to disappoint my brother and this and this and. Go ahead.
No, I just was going to mention, because you skipped an important part there where Anya plays matchmaker.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she does.
When she overhears that Yor is an assassin?
Yeah.
And this is one of the times where I feel like the Japanese version kind of does it a tiny bit better.
Okay.
Because in the English version, she just says, "So cool," which works. But her reaction just feels more childish in the Japanese version, where she goes, "Whack, whack," which is apparently Japanese for "that's cool." Excited. I'm super excited. Basically, I didn't say it right, but it's just so cute. Sorry. Yeah, go back where you were.
all I have to say is like how Drew loves this series so much. He owns the Blu-rays, and he also owns the mangas right over here off right off the.
I need to finish reading the manga.
Yeah,
I'm behind.
But it's such a unique episode where our crew is coming together, and they have to. They're both having to pretend to be someone they're not in order to get something they want or they need for a mission or they need for this. And I just find it very unique because these two characters, obviously, they're trying to lie to each other in order to get something they need. And then you have little
Anya,
who's just like, oh my gosh. It's like, daddy's a spy and mommy is an assassin. It's like, Jimini's so cool. So yeah, I agree with Anya.
This is where I disagree with the narrator, because right after that he says, "This girl was obviously starved for attention." It's like, that's probably true, but honestly, this is cool.
This is cool. And like, I can't remember, do they actually have to No, they don't work together in this episode. They just have tried. They're getting away.
They do at the very end.
Yeah, they do kind of work together at the very end, where
when they're trying to get away from the smugglers.
Yeah, because Yor literally comes out of nowhere and just pop, pop.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should not be helping your patients, Lloyd. Because
that's right. It's patients.
Because Lloyd's cover is that he's a psychiatrist.
Yeah, he's
and the way he covered for the fact that he came in so bloodied to that party was that, I had some trouble with my patients in a group thing.
A group session.
And I had
it's
to
part
use
of the therapy.
I had to use some concussive techniques or something to that effect.
Yeah, concussive techniques.
And so she says when she does it, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be treating your patients. I'm not really trained in psychiatry."
Oh my god!
And I like how he actually did fully explain it. This is one of the weird things I noticed.
Yeah.
This does not have the ending credits sequence because the ending credits play during the last scene, probably because this episode goes a touch longer than the rest of them. And so as they're going into that last scene, the credits start playing at the bottom of the screen, right? Mm-hmm. Those credits are timed to just be off screen finally, when Lloyd says something to the effect of, "Oh yeah, it's an experimental technique that should help stabilize them." And immediately as soon as he says that, the words pop up, "This is fiction." And I don't know why that makes me laugh. But it's the fact that they planned credits to work around this.
Yeah.
Both the Japanese and the English version. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching going, that is funny and completely unnecessary, but I love it.
Yeah.
Plus, let's face it, what we might as well call the wedding.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode.
Yes.
When the ring that he was going to use fell out of his pocket. And so he uses the pin of a grenade. He pulls the pin, throws the grenade back behind there, and they do the whole wedding ceremony where it's like with this ring with this ring until it's not unto sickness and health. It's until my mission for him, until my killing for her.
Yeah.
Do we part? As he's putting the ring on
her finger
on the finger, which is the ring on the pin of the grenade. And just as it gets into position, the grenade goes off. It's like, this is the start of a beautiful love.
Yeah, beautiful relationship. It's
Anya's going to regret missing this.
Yeah, it's very concussive. Well, I'm pretty sure she hears it when she's reading their minds later. It's like, oh my gosh, I missed this. This is so cool.
But yeah, I love this show.
Yeah.
And this is a great start. When we watched this originally at Chase's, we had neither one of us had any idea what we were getting into.
No.
And one of the things I regret is that we cut the end of the first episode off because like, now that we've got these two, we need to get the mother. And we jumped straight into this episode, so I guess I didn't realize that they had made it into the to Eden Academy, because that's the mission here. He's got to get because Operation Strix, what it is, he has to get close to this man that works for the party that's trying to start the war back up over in the Estonia government. He's a recluse, and he only ever shows up at social events at his son's school. So in order to meet up with this guy, Lloyd has to adopt a student, get them into the academy, and has to get a wife so that they can do the entrance exam, which is coming. And this is a ridiculous premise. B,
agreed.
It is still a great way of getting this group together, and it will lead to some cool stuff coming forward. I am looking forward to the next couple episodes because there's some fun stuff coming up. I am looking forward to the first time you get to see the punch.
The punch.
Well, I say the first time. It is the punch when Anya has had enough.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the best moments of this, and yeah, that's coming in that's a couple episodes from now. It's definitely before the hiatus.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. I do like the show. And I'm glad we're finally getting to do it.
Good deal. Yeah, this is definitely a nice refresher from Evangelion. Definitely after the movie. Let's just say that.
Yes. And it's kind of nice not really having because even X-Men the animated series had kind of a bit of a pressure to it.
Yes.
There's like no pressure for me for whatever reason.
Yeah, agreed.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode. Next week, because we didn't even mention what movie we're reviewing next week.
We're not.
And it's actually not next week. It's 2 weeks from now because we're skipping Easter.
We're taking Easter off.
Yeah. We are having our first patron request episode because Nathan of the Monster Island Film Vault is forcing us to watch, and this will help with the analytics a little bit since it is going to be around the time of Godzilla X Kong.
Yes.
The Mighty Kong, an animated musical from the 90s about King Kong.
Oh my gosh.
Nathan has already recently released an episode where he reviewed this with somebody else and decided I'm going to torture Jacob and Drew with it. Although knowing how he said it, he probably said Jake and Drew.
Jake and Drew, probably.
Throws me, but whatever.
It happens. I can call it Jake often.
Yeah, and so he's going to be joining us for that. Also next week for the TAS, of course, episodes 3 and 4 of Spy Family, which are... This will come up. Prepare for the Interview and the Prestigious Schools Interview. Such creative names, but does work. So join us next week for that. You got anything before we cut out of here, Jacob?
No, it's I'd be like I'm glad that Drew kind of brought this movie into the
show,
the TAS section, because they're gonna be like we just did Evangelion, and Evangelion was kind of a like heavy but not really heavy, and then we just did the movie for this review, which was so freaking just irritating beyond belief as a movie, and then we get this nice, like I said in the beginning, very nice, fluffy, soft cake. And it's just nice and enjoyable. It might be a pound cake for me because I love pound cake. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'd be like, props to you. They're like, you hopped on this, and it's like, yeah, let's do that. It sounds good. And so we're doing what, volume 1?
We're doing, before the hiatus, we're doing season 1, part 1.
Yeah.
Or as apparently the term is, core 1?
Core 1.
Which is like the name of a half season, apparently. This was all news to me. But yeah, it's everything from the beginning of 2022's run of Spy Family.
Okay.
Before the hiatus. And then when we get back from the hiatus, we'll do the second half.
Oh, okay.
So join us next week or week after next for our continuation on that. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron.
And his letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen.
His Facebook page, Drew's Photo Bin, to see his photography. His letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast. On Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming.
On YouTube at Cellcast.
On Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
It's the end of Evangelion as we know it, and we feel fine.
You're welcome, people.